morning. Please be seated. I am honored to be among the first today to congratulate this outstanding group of graduates, Carleton class of 2018. And a very hearty welcome and thank you to all the families and friends of this impressive class. Poet Dana Gioia writes about the greater vision of what we do here today. Praise to the rituals that celebrate change, old robes worn for new beginnings, solemn protocol where the mutable soul, surrounded by ancient experience, grows young in the imagination's white dress. Because it is not the rituals we honor, but our trust in what they signify, these rites that honor us as witnesses, whether to watch lovers swear loyalty in a careless world, or a newborn washed with water and oil. So praise to innocence, impulsive and evergreen, and let the old be touched by youth's wayward astonishment at learning something new, and dream of a future so fitting and so just that our desire will bring it into being. Thank you.
Good morning. My first enviable responsibility this morning is to extend hearty congratulations to the members of Carleton's wonderful class of 2018. Yeah. The moment you've worked so hard for, a moment your families also envisioned and sacrificed for. Indeed, a moment that may have been beyond the wildest dreams of parents or grandparents who immigrated to this country to build a brighter tomorrow for loved ones. Today, those aspirations and dreams begin to come true through you, our graduates. The excitement of first real jobs, admission to top graduate and professional schools, prestigious academic fellowships, life in new locations, and more await you once you descend from the stage with diploma in hand. Your college is so proud of you, and your mentors and friends at Carleton will follow your future triumphs with joy. An exuberant senior week has concluded. Well done, okay. Our setting on the bald spot is both historic and symbolic. The weather, despite initial threats, actually is generally cooperating. Your happiest Carleton experiences are hopefully rising to the fore, and you're surrounded by family and friends who love you. What could possibly detract from or diminish this moment? Well, that brings me to my second, perhaps less enviable responsibility this morning, to consciously pop the Carleton bubble for you with one last bit of counsel before you depart. Let's talk about bubbles for a second. As a matter of physics, bubbles are globules of one substance within another, usually gas within a liquid. Bubbles often take a spherical shape because this minimizes their surface area, which in turn minimizes the surface tension energy of the bubble. There are other metaphorical kinds of bubbles too. In economics, a bubble is a market phenomena characterized by surges in asset prices to levels significantly above the fundamental value of that asset. During such financial bubbles, overly exuberant behavior drives prices to irrational levels. Think tulip mania in 17th century Netherlands. And it's always followed by a brutal fall, which ties in nicely with the perilous sports image of being on the bubble. That is, the person or team occupying the last qualifying position and hence liable to be replaced by another. Yet one more definition of bubble is a good or fortunate situation that is isolated from reality or unlikely to last. That, of course, is the kind of bubble that Carleton and other liberal arts colleges, and even all of higher education, are sometimes accused of being. This last kind of bubble is fragile and ephemeral, just like a thin membrane of water and soap containing air, which will swiftly burst. This last kind of academic bubble is also illusory and potentially problematic. It may feel comfortable, but it can limit one's perspective and diminish the impact of new and deeper understanding. While it is right for colleges to nurture idealized settings for learning and discovery and for students' personal growth, and while it is imperative to protect such enclaves from harmful political and ideological depredations, we must also bear in mind that the knowledge students acquire here and the scholarly discoveries made and expressions of creativity carried out by faculty here are not mere adornments for society or precious gems to be hoarded in academic storehouses. To the contrary, this knowledge and these discoveries and creations are meant to be used to make our world a wiser, kinder, safer, more just, and more smoothly functioning and sustainable place. To pursue truth and needful change. This is the necessary and noble charge Carleton and all other great colleges and universities lay upon their graduates each spring. Bursting bubbles and puncturing pretension and misunderstandings, as I am urging you to do, isn't clean or easy work. Sometimes it's going to make a bit of a mess and leave a residue. Sometimes it's going to tick people off. But Carleton has equipped you not just with the intellectual skills, but also with the perseverance and self-reliance and integrity, and especially the desire to do good that will see you through to success. Now, since I've been drawing upon dramatic verbiage to describe your departure from an imaginary Carleton bubble, using words like popping, bursting, and puncturing, I also thought it fitting to draw on an imaginary cinematic scene to make my next point. At some point in your childhood, your parents or friends probably made you watch the classic 1989 film Field of Dreams. For the uninitiated, this movie recounts Farmer Ray Kinsella obeying mystical instructions to build a baseball field in the middle of an Iowa cornfield, where the haunted spirits of legendary and not so legendary former players can suit up once again. This ball field is its own magical bubble of sorts, where dreams of redemption, forgiveness, and peace come true. There's a poignant moment in the film, a scene apropos to my theme this morning, when Kinsella has traveled to the small town of Chisholm, Minnesota, to convince the beloved local physician, Dr. Archibald Moonlight Graham, to leave his home to pursue again his just missed and long abandoned dream of playing professional baseball. Graham turns him down flat. He explains simply and eloquently what being in Chisholm and being part of Chisholm means to him. Quote, "This is my most special place in all the world. Once a place touches you like this, the wind never blows so cold again. You feel for it like it was your child." Graham's small Minnesota town was the place that nurtured and grounded him in the wider, more complicated and messy world. We hope that your small Minnesota college in a small Minnesota town, sometimes flawed but nonetheless always caring and empowering, we hope that this will likewise be the place that most nurtures and grounds you in the world. We hope that, as devoted alumni, you will feel for Carleton like it was your child, and that you will help the college stay true to its highest values and aspirations. Many of us have a place or places that touch us deeply and sustain us. Perhaps it was the experiences we had there, the people we knew there, or even the physical environment itself that created this lifelong sense of identification and longing to return. Our wish is that for all of these reasons, Carleton will become such a touchstone for you. Your Carleton experience has shaped how you learn and how you view the world. The college has drawn forth and burnished your talents through faculty who helped you understand in an argument and inquiry seminar what college-level analysis and writing entail. Through professors in your major who challenged your thinking and helped you channel academic passions into discernible and exciting career paths. And through office staff who modeled professionalism and service. Likewise, you graduate with long rosters of fellow Carls with whom you forged indelible memories, from your first-year floor mates to your senior year set of established friends, from your KRLX co-host to your varsity teammates to the co-leader of your favorite club. And I hope each of you also has beloved physical spots on campus that evoke the essence of Carleton and your time here as a student. A favorite path through the Arb Prairie, the enormous oak in front of Olin, a bench on Stussy Island, or thousands of other possibilities. Mental snapshots of these special places will always symbolize Carleton for you and call you home. Just like Moonlight Graham's Chisholm, you can and should draw on Carleton for sustenance and strength, and you should return here to renew cherished connections. Just like Moonlight Graham's Chisholm, the wind will never blow so cold again because the mentors and friends and the knowledge you acquired here will help you through future challenges and setbacks. The liberal arts education you have received here will help you attack and solve the world's pressing problems. Consider, for instance, how, at a moment of painful civic polarization, Carleton Humanities and Arts faculty and students are working with local partners to strengthen the social fabric and build more robust civil communities. This is happening, for example, through film projects that promote cultural understanding and explain community needs, and through audio recordings and live performances that explore issues like access to health care and the impact of immigration. The friendships you have gained here will also endure. For example, as I speak, Bill Solberg and Lee Johnson, members of the Carleton class of 1958, which incidentally is the class that started the Schiller tradition, these classmates are riding their bicycles across the country together to their 60th reunion, which will be next week. Bill started at the border with Mexico. Lee started in Denver. They're riding in memory of former classmates and professors who have passed away. Classmates are cheering them on through Facebook and have pledged gifts to Carleton for every mile they ride. They're a shining example of Carleton traditions of community, creativity, loyalty, generosity, and lifetime bonds. And finally, the faculty and staff mentors you have made here and who have helped mold your intellectual and personal growth are ever eager to keep serving as guides and sources of wisdom. Here's an illustration. The marshal at May's honors convocation was Professor of Physics Joel Weisberg, who's retiring from Carleton next spring after 35 years of stellar teaching. I know that's a really, really bad pun, but I couldn't resist him. Throughout his career, Joel has made it a priority to involve students in his scholarship on pulsars and Einstein's general theory of relativity. His student mentees have gone on to distinguished careers of their own, careers which in many cases continue to be nourished by Joel's help in securing fellowships, sharing advice, and even ongoing peer-to-peer research collaborations with their former teacher. As you take leave of the college today, heading out from the warm and familiar bubble that has been your home for points both known and impossible to know, don't fret, don't fear. Carleton has touched you forever. The wind will never blow so cold again, and not just because you no longer reside in rural Minnesota. And if past patterns hold true, you will join thousands of fellow alumni in feeling for Carleton like it was your child. Congratulations, class of 2018. Let me now introduce our first student speaker. Adriana Castillo, an American Studies major. Okay. An American Studies major and Educational Studies concentrator from South Houston, Texas. Come on up, okay. Adriana's many Carleton activities included serving as intramural basketball director, facilitating student dialogues, and tutoring middle school students. The title of her speech this morning, and we'll give her just a second to get up here, okay? Walking around the flowers isn't easy, come on up, okay? The title of her speech this morning is A Cup of Tea.
Thank you, President Foscancer, and welcome Vice Presidents, Deans, Trustees, faculty, staff, family, friends, and most importantly, the class of 2018. It is an honor to be standing in front of you all today as we celebrate our end of our time here at Carleton. I decided to write this speech for commencement because I wanted there to be diversity in who we chose as student speakers. Not too long ago, I was sitting in office hours with a professor, and I mentioned that I was considering writing this speech, which caused our conversation to shift into talking about the experiences of students of color at Carleton. You see, 23% of our student body identifies as a person of color, 9% of which are international students. And when we think about some of the experiences that we have had at a predominantly and historically white institution, it's been difficult to say that Carleton has been our favorite or best cup of tea, because navigating this place has been one of the most challenging things that we have ever had to do. I'd also like to mention that I am a part of the 13% of students who identify as first generation. I am the first and only member of my family who had the opportunity to attend a 4-year university. So, to give this speech when you are part of a community that's the minority at a school where the majority of students have parents and family members who've already been through college and somewhat know how to manage a place like this, it's kind of hard to find some commonalities. For me, it was difficult to be the first. It was difficult to be the first because there were no guidelines or written notes with pieces of advice to give or follow. It was difficult to be the first because there was pressure to succeed and to show that you belonged in an environment that was constantly challenging you mentally, academically, and emotionally. It was difficult to be the first because because of the displacement and lack of familiarity. And it was even more difficult to be the first because when I went back to familiarity, I realized that the exposure to newness had changed my perception of things, and what was once familiar had become unfamiliar. It was difficult to be the first because I was the commencement, a new beginning, a new opportunity. When you are the first, you become a resource and role model to all of those who will come after you. You become proof that the struggles, whatever those may be, did not bring you down, but rather helps you learn and push and persevere. And most importantly, you become a stronger individual because the knowledge you have gained, not just academically, but from experiences, can never be taken away from you. The struggles I faced at Carleton, the good, the bad, all of the experiences have transformed me into who I am today. There's a quote one of my mentors has written on his office that reminds me of my time and my experience here. It says the following: people don't burn out because of what they do. They burn out because life makes them forget why they do it in the first place. I'd like to say that in order to overcome my challenges, that I faced here and not to burn out, I drew strength from my identity as a first-generation Mexican-American woman. The thought of being the first, of becoming a role model, especially for my nieces and nephews who are seeing me on this stage, and the thought of seeing my mother and my father's faces as they saw their youngest child walk across this stage after all the hard work they put into getting me here, they, along with my siblings, were my why. As I mentioned earlier, for students like myself, Carleton may not have been our favorite or best cup of tea, but thankfully, there's sugar. Throughout my time here, I kept adding sugar in the form of friendships and relationships with students who I now consider family, faculty and staff mentors who have all made my 4 years at Carleton one of the greatest experiences of my life. From sharing laughter, tears, frustration, anger, and so much joy to when I felt that I was about to burn out, they all helped me in remembering my why. Why are you here? What are your goals? Why are you doing what you are doing? As we prepare to close this chapter in our lives, and as we go into our respective fields and begin new chapters, I ask that you never forget your why. There is a purpose and a reason for why you are doing what you are doing. Whenever you feel like giving up, and even when you lose motivation, remember your why. Remember to find sugar for those not so great cups of tea, and surround yourself with those people who remind you of all the reasons why you are doing what you are doing. Life will get pretty hectic, but don't let it make you forget why you are doing something in the first place. Finally, it is always in the end that we look back to the beginning. Whether we remember New Student Week, the first day of classes that September of 2014, declaring our major sophomore year, potentially studying abroad junior year, all the way to writing comps this year. Throughout our 4 years here, there were times when we felt like we were burning out. But look at us. Look at us today. We made it through. My why cannot compare to others because we've all had different experiences here. But we all came to Carleton with a why, and are sitting here today about to throw our caps in the air. To all of you, especially and specifically to the students who are part of the percentages I mentioned earlier, congratulations. Be proud of yourselves because you did the damn thing. I am proud of us, of every single one of you. I think I speak for a lot of us when I say thank you to those who have played a substantial role in helping us get here today. Carleton was an interesting experience, but I couldn't imagine having it any other way or at any other place. Mami, papi, nuestro sueño se ha hecho realidad. Y espero que estén orgullosos de mí porque todo esto es para ustedes. Class of 2018, congratulations. I wish you all the best of luck on your new chapters, and I thank you for letting me be a part of your experience here. Thank you.
Thank you, Adriana. That was lovely and inspirational. Our second speaker is Walter Paul. Walter's a political science, international relations major, and Arabic concentrator from Omaha, Nebraska. Walter participated in, and this is a long list, Club Soccer, Model United Nations, the Black Student Alliance, and Men of Color groups, and he also served as the Carleton Student Association president this last year. The title of Walter's speech this morning is More Than a Piece of Paper.
Thank you, President Poskenzer. Vice President, deans, professors, graduates, family, friends, and loved ones. Hello, on this bright, sunny, and gorgeous day. Parents, today's the day. You've watched your students grow to this moment. For example, you heard them utter their first words, which, while at Carleton, they effectively used to eloquently communicate complex ideas that all boil down to capitalism sucks. So it's only necessary that I wish you a good luck as the college returns them to you smarter and exhausted, but even more impassioned than they were before you said your reluctant goodbyes September of 2014. Congratulations to you. Class of 2018, this is it. If we prove anything today, it's that we're willing to work extremely hard for 4 years for a piece of paper, a black dress, and loud and perhaps obnoxious cheers from our friends and family in the back. So I hope it's all worth it. Nonetheless, we've been through it all together. A concert with T-Pain, a circus election in 2016, a solar eclipse, a national champion eclipse, a handful of political rallies on campus, long hours of board games like Risk and Monopoly, stress, laughter, heartbreak, achievements here, failure there, and the passing of 2 fellow classmates. Regardless of the event, I've enjoyed challenging and being challenged by and with you. Thank you for that experience. Now, for some of you, today was inevitable, given your living conditions and privileges. For others, today was possible, but you had to sacrifice a bit more to achieve it. For a small but strong minority, this day, 5 years ago, was merely a dream. But it was your will, your determination, and the help of family, friends, and mentors, professors, and others that's made it a reality. So today means more than a piece of paper. To those students who had to endure the steepest of barriers to walk this stage, those students who struggled and toiled through endless nights of frustration because they faced challenges beyond academics, like being a student of color, being economically disadvantaged, being a woman, being LGBTQX, and more. Today, you prove to those who doubted you in the past to the present, who told you that you were innately unfit for this level of education because of who you are, that this is where you were always meant to be. That even though you were given bicycles in a car race to the finish line, you were worthy of this education and finished it with an overdose of pride and finesse. You did it. Congratulations to you. Today means more than a piece of paper for Alice Akumu and Paul Obote, my mother and father, who were denied their own opportunities to graduate, but devoted their lives to ensuring that I could, despite many barriers. See, mine is an improbable story. I can only dream of this moment 20 years ago. I'm South Sudanese, but I was born in a refugee camp in Uganda. I was displaced by a war that took the lives of thousands and displaced millions of my people, the Acholi. For 6 years, I slept on the hard ground of a hut. I was deprived of the most favorable living conditions we take for granted here. I lived on corn and bois. In all my photos from that time, I'm sporting the same attire. I'm barefoot, wearing these dusty baby blue shorts and a ripped white shirt that has Superman standing broadly with his chest pumped out. Yeah, I had swag even in misfortune. But when I look at that shirt, Superman reminds me of no other people than my parents. For they were and continue to be the superhumans that have done the superhumane, so that I can stand before you, a poor, displaced young refugee turned college graduate. They, like many immigrant parents, gave up lives dedicated to their dreams to lives committed to my future, all because they understood the absolute importance of that piece of paper. They understood what that piece of paper means for people with my background, people that look like me, people that have to work twice as hard to get half of what others earn, people for whom this level of education is not a choice, but a necessity, not a given, but a struggle, not just a moment in our lives, but the 4 years that will define how we are treated outside the Carleton bubble. See, that piece of paper is a rite of passage of respect, because without it, people that look like me are defined by our lack of it. This moment, today, is more than a graduation from 4 years of college. Rather, for my family and many families like mine in the audience, it is the culmination of 20-plus years of tears, heartbreak, sweat, sacrifice, deprivation, and struggle. Today means more than a piece of paper. It was not inevitable. It was not inevitable. It was a dream made reality by my parents and many parents like them who worked so hard for little benefit. But the joy of obnoxiously cheering as their son replaces his dusty baby blue shorts and ripped Superman shirt with a crisp black dress and a diploma in hand, as he proudly walks across the stage, no longer one of the forgotten many in the world, but a force that can leave a mark in it. Today is worth it because of it. Mom and Dad, thank you so much. Finally, graduates, today means more than a piece of paper for you. Today, we depart Carleton with skills beyond frisbee throwing, streaking, and chasing busts of German poets. Among us are soon-to-be esteemed doctors, artists, actors, engineers, lawyers, professors, and more. But before you leave, knowing the impatient optimists and pragmatic idealists that you all are, I want to impart a message that is direly needed as we exit the Carleton bubble. Graduating from Carleton, especially in this time, is a privilege that breeds an immense burden. Today, we graduate in the midst of great challenges around the globe. The specters of hate and exclusion continue to stain the social fabric of our society. One's race, nationality, gender, sexual orientation, and other marginalized identities continue to be the undervalued measures of their worth. These challenges require that we all be superhumans of some sort to conquer them. It mandates that we use the plethora of skills we developed at Carleton to do superhumane things for all people, no matter the distance between our world and theirs. One of my best friends graduating today follows the Baha'i faith. The religion's founder, Baha'u'llah's profound words accurately captures my key message to you. The earth is but one country, and mankind its citizens. See, we thrive on the same sources of energy, provided by one sun, sustained by one magnetic field that encapsulates one planet and one solar system. So we can't allow the accident of latitude to prevent us from using the skills and privileges we developed at Carleton to serve people beyond our offices, homes, neighborhoods, cities, states, and countries. They demand our attention. They're why we worked so hard these past 4 years. They're what that piece of paper, a handshake from Stevie P, rowing cheers from our families, and our Carleton education are worth. If we don't acknowledge, challenge, and change the unjust social structures holding them back from enjoying moments like this, we fatally choose to comfortably sail on the ocean of life, then swim in its deep complexities. Society stagnates with the former action, but grows when we choose the latter. So after today, don't sit and watch where the world is going. Get up. Use your skills to shift it in the direction you know it should be headed. It's been a pleasure. Congratulations, and thank you.
Thank you, Walter. You teach and you humble us. We now move to the awarding of honorary degrees, a signal academic honor. As your commencement program notes, the college awards such degrees sparingly, selecting recipients with great care. Today we honor two individuals. Our first honorary degree recipient is Carl C. Kwok of the class of 1971. When Carl left his home in Hong Kong to enroll in Carleton in the fall of 1967, he was pursuing a global education at a time when international study was much more unusual and arduous than it is today. It was also a time when the Carleton student body looked very different and was much less diverse than it is today. Carl was one of only 40 international students then, whereas today he would be one of over 200. By virtue of his brave willingness to share his perspectives with others while always staying proudly true to his own heritage, Carl expanded the horizons of his fellow students and of college faculty and staff. Carl studied government and international relations. After graduation, he earned an MBA at the Wharton School of the University of Pennsylvania. This educational path set the stage for Carl to become one of Hong Kong's premier business leaders. He is currently chairman of the board of the Wing On Group and executive director of Wing On International Holdings. This 100-year-old company, founded by Carl's grandfather, has repeatedly evolved to changing markets over the last century. It currently owns one of Hong Kong's largest department store chains, as well as real estate and financial services interests. Mr. Kwok helped steward several prominent higher education institutions, including the Chinese University of Hong Kong and the City University of Hong Kong, where, reflecting always his Carleton roots, he has been a strong proponent of the liberal arts model of teaching and learning. A noted sportsman and civic leader, he chairs the Hong Kong Sports Development Board and serves as vice president of the Sports Federation and Olympic Committee of Hong Kong. Carl has also been a sustaining force behind Carleton's presence in Asia. He has supported admissions recruitment and fostered the college's alumni network all along the Pacific Rim. In addition to preparing him for a successful career and for volunteer leadership, Carl's college years also sparked a lifelong passion. In his college days, international students were assigned to host families. Carl's family, the Halversons, who are with us today, and we salute you. Yeah, absolutely. We'll clap for Halverson. The Halversons had a cabin on French Lake outside of Faribault. It was here that Carl first learned to sail, and he immediately fell in love with the sport. After his return to Asia, Carl joined the Hong Kong Yacht Club and in time became a dominant figure in open ocean racing. He has won major events all over the world, most recently sailing boats bearing the name Beau Geste. Now, just like running a complex business, success in ocean racing requires meticulous planning, nimble adjustments to swiftly changing conditions, and above all, communicating and working effectively as part of a team. Each of these essential life skills can also be traced to Carl's Carleton liberal arts education. Carl, would you join me here at the podium? Carl Kwok, devoted alumnus and international leader in business, education, sport, and philanthropy. You embody a rare blend of practicality, vision, and drive. As you spur businesses and civic organizations alike to new levels of success, You model how a truly global perspective can result in excellence across many different domains, how to find one's joy and how to share it with others. By the authority vested in me by the state of Minnesota and by the Board of Trustees of Carleton College, I hereby confer upon you the degree of Doctor of Humane Letters, honoris causa, together with all of the rights, privileges, and responsibilities pertaining thereto. Congratulations. Thank you. Very, very kind. Our second honorary degree recipient is Kevin Kling. Mr. Kling is a renowned playwright and storyteller and commentator for National Public Radio. Born in Osseo, Minnesota, Kevin graduated from Gustavus Adolphus College with a major in theater. His career took off in the 1990s with two plays, 21A, based on a South Minneapolis bus route, and Fear and Loving in Minneapolis. His autobiographical one-man show, Home and Away, premiered at the Seattle Repertory Theater and subsequently played at Chicago's Goodman Theater, the Jungle Theater in Minneapolis, Second Stage off Broadway, and the HBO Comedy Arts Festival in Aspen. In addition to his plays, Kevin has also written numerous acclaimed books and short stories. You may have heard some of his pieces on the NPR show All Things Considered, where he's a regular contributor. For his creative works, he has been awarded grants and fellowships from the National Endowment for the Arts, the McKnight Foundation, the Minnesota State Arts Board, the Bush Foundation, and the Jerome Foundation. In 2009, he won the A.P. Anderson Award for Outstanding Contributions to Literature and the Arts in Minnesota. And in 2012, he earned the National Storytelling Network Circle of Excellence Award. Kevin's style reflects both his innate sense of humor and the life challenges he has surmounted, including a congenital birth defect and complications from a near-fatal motorcycle accident. Former Guthrie Theater artistic director Joe Dowling offered an especially apt description of our honoree. He said, quote, "Kevin has the ability to be genuinely funny, but he can also move you to tears. He's profound in the way he combines a natural genius sense of observation and humor with a real understanding of what it is to struggle, as he's had to do all his life." In a 2012 radio interview, Kevin shared his own motivation for storytelling. By telling a story, things don't control me anymore. It's in my vernacular. It's the way I see the world. And I think that's why our stories ask our questions, our big questions, like where do we come from before life or after life? What's funny in this world or sacred? By the asking in front of people and with people, we know we are not alone. And I found that that's even more important than the answer. In this same spirit of courageous and wide-ranging inquiry, this spirit is utterly consonant with the goals of a liberal arts education, and it merits our praise. Kevin, would you please join me up here? Kevin Kling, accomplished author, playwright, and raconteur. Through your wisdom and wit, you facilitate encounters with life's mysteries and ambiguities, enabling us to draw on the restorative power of laughter as we reflect on the vagaries of life. You help us acknowledge and absorb both the tragic and the exultant, and take enduring lessons, even from the commonplace occurrences, ever leading and teaching your listeners to embrace and celebrate our common humanity. By the authority vested in me by the state of Minnesota and by the Board of Trustees of Carleton College, I hereby confer upon you the degree of Doctor of Letters, honoris causa, together with all of the rights, privileges, and responsibilities pertaining thereto. This is for you, and I'll just put this right here. Okay. please join me now in welcoming Kevin Kling to the podium.
For the record, this weather isn't because I went to Gustavus. Besides, I think we can use this all crossing the lines for a good example for the G7 meeting going on right now, that we can get beyond our differences and get along. Thank you, President Boskanzer, faculty, staff, students, deans, family, and friends. It is really, really, truly an honor to get this degree. I feel really blessed. And Carleton is really the pinnacle of a liberal arts education. So my dream as an author before this was to one day become required reading, but now that's way in the distance. Now this is over the moon. Like many of you, I've got family here. My nephew Jared is here, my sister Laura. She's a teacher for 35 years. My mom, Dora, who's my inspiration, my hero, and my wife, Mary Luddington, who is my heart and my rock. As a student at a commencement last week that I was at said, why do people always ask me what I want to be and not who I want to be? And that's what I want to focus on now. We give our life value through our struggles, and a hero is only as great as the dragons they face. Your generations have fought for freedom, gender, race, to live and study in a safe environment that justice should and does mean for all. And these are really some serious dragons. And the reason that last year, one of my heroes was you. And now you're on to new adventures, trying new things like sleep and 3 meals a day. Now, I'm a storyteller, and so I see stories like the Greeks do. They thought of stories as a loom, and that vertically ran the metaphor, horizontally ran the sequence. And where they came together, they wove their invisible threads for their cloaks of immortality. A couple of years ago, I was in Ireland, and I was on a boat. And you can probably already tell my left arm is shorter than my right. I only have 4 fingers on this side, and my right arm hasn't moved since I was in a motorcycle accident. I get this out of the way right away because a lot of people are like, does he know about his arms? Yeah, I know about my arms. So I'm trying to get up this ladder, and I'm having a really hard time, as you can imagine. And the captain, who hasn't said anything all week, finally turns to me and says, "Every man goes out of his mind in his own way." That's right. When I was a kid, I could tell there were those bursting with art, and that the art looked for the easiest flow out of the body. Like a painter's hand was always moving. A singer's breath took on the rhythms of the world, and a dancer, man, the dancer's whole body got to move. I was in band, and I remember I would play in the band, and this band is amazing. When I played in the band and we would finish, I always had a little extra music left over to play, or I would finish and the band would keep going, and I'd have to pick up my horn and pretend I had more to do. But one time, I remember I was playing the Hogan's Heroes March, and lo and behold, I finished at the same time as the band. It was a miracle. And then the band director said, "Very good, band, and now we'll play the Hogan's Heroes March." I entered college pre-med. I had a calculator on each hip, one named Wyatt Einstein and the other Albert Earp. And I was really fast with those calculators. And soon I made friends. I found my posse. I learned that your night before was only as good as your ability to tell about it and to kindly rely on the strangeness of others. I found theater, and that was the end of pre-med. And my dad was not altogether thrilled with this. He would send me newspaper clippings with headlines like, "Actor starves to death in New York," and 2% of the actors union employed, and Bob Crane, star of Hogan's Heroes, found stabbed to death in driveway. And I would get these in the mail. So when I got out, I said, I'm going to get a job in the theater. I don't care what it takes. And so I got a job at the Guthrie Theater, but it wasn't on stage. I was backstage. But I got to see these amazing directors at work, like Liviu Ciulei with this thick Romanian accent, this beautiful accent. And I remember an actor on stage performing a monologue, and when he was done, Ciulei said, no, more eccentric. And so the actor did the monologue again. This time he put a little tick on his face. Ciulei said, no, more eccentric. So now the actor started writhing a little bit. Julie, more eccentric. So now the actor's frothing at the mouth, wiggling on the floor. Julie turns to the dramaturg, who is also from Romania, and whispers something, and the dramaturg nods and tells the actor, he wants you to stand more in the center. When I think of the best education I could have gotten to prepare me for this world, it is a liberal arts education. I think of this wonderful Nigerian folktale about 4 brothers, and they all went out and got an education. One went out and became an architect. One went out and got into the medical sciences. The third went out and got into the spirituality, and the 4th brother never really found his calling, and so he wandered around learning all kinds of different things. The 4 brothers got together and they said, let's see who got the best education. So they went on a walk and they came across a dead lion. And they said, let's use this lion to see who got the best education. And the first brother, the architect, was off. He set up the bones just like the lion was in the first place. The next brother, the medical doctor, got in there and put on the organs and the skin and the muscle. And the third brother got ready to breathe the breath of life into the lion when the 4th brother climbed up into a tree. The third brother breathed into the lion, it came to life and ate the 3 brothers, and the 4th brother climbed out of the tree and said, now we'll never know who got the best education. But that 4th brother to me is the liberal arts education. That 4th brother is the brother that learned from all kinds of different things in order to get along in this world. And today, for you graduating students, I'm so proud of you. These speakers before me, unbelievable speakers. And it's not about as much what you learned as that you've learned how to learn. That you've taken knowledge in history and science and you've made it your own. You've taken experience and given it meaning from teachers that challenged you, from families that provided and protected you, from friends that stood by you. And this reward is even greater because it is a shared success. I thank my lucky stars I have a liberal arts education. Logic, I had to take logic. Oh man, it was a tragedy. But really, what is a play if not a categorical syllogism? And it's an if-then scenario. So now I love logic. John Kabat-Zinn said, we live in a time of Stone Age emotions, medieval morality, and modern technology. It is an ambiguous time at best. It is ripe for disturbance. And you can either follow a light or find solace in the mystery. Remember, balance is maintaining the states of imbalance. The early Ojibways, according to Gerald Visner, used to have irony dogs that actually were trained to bark when there was no irony in the room. Amazing. Resiliency is defined as maintaining one's shape. And we maintain our shapes through our family, our faith, our communities. And when we recognize each other, we see ourselves in another. And by helping them, we're really helping ourselves. One of my favorite words is belong. Being and longing. It's a paradox. To be somewhere and to long to be somewhere else. And it's where we're at our most comfortable, when we're in paradox. When we're in a state of safety and challenge, a nest and vastness, a place we can risk safely. The Greeks called them oneric spaces, where dream and reality could come together, particle and wave, dreamer and dream. If belonging gives us resiliency, I believe our power comes from our differences. My left arm, I know I'm a writer because of my left arm, because when I was a kid, people would come, they would talk to me different than other kids. They would call my arm withered or crippled or say, you poor thing, or what happened. But by the words they chose, I could tell whether they blamed me, my parents, God, or themselves for my condition. And with that information, I could get what I needed out of them. Rhetoric became very important in my life. Not only what people said, but how and why they said it. I was working with kids the other day, and I tell them, if you want to high five after we're working, we can't, but we can high four all day. And I was talking and telling these kids the same thing. I was saying, you know, you guys, what makes you different makes you stronger. What makes you different? And write a superhero character. And this little girl comes up, and I said, what makes you different? And she says, I'm very shy. And I said, I know, you haven't said anything all week. And I said, why does that give you power? And she says, well, because sometimes people forget I'm in the room, and I'm invisible, and I know everything. And she did. I could go to her for anything. the Sufi poet, and she reminded me of listening, deep, deep listening. How do you listen so deeply it becomes empathy? The Sufi poet Rumi said, "The moon comes through the window, not the door. If you wait by the door, you're never going to see it." Pythagoras believed that everything has a song, rocks, trees, and planets, and we have not lost the ability to hear the music, but we've lost the ability to recognize it. It's our job to listen for the harmonies that exist in this world. For example, the spiral bones in our inner ear connects us to the shell of the snail and to the shape of the Milky Way. A while back, I was listening to Robert Bly do a poem, and when he was done, the whole audience sighed, "Ah," and he goes, "Did you understand that?" And we all went, "No." And he said, "I don't either, but it's just beyond our grasp, isn't it?" And we said, "Yes, it's just beyond our grasp." And knowing it was right there, I urge you to ask questions, to keep reaching beyond your grasp. And in the days ahead, you're going to suffer loss, you're going to experience victory. And when you do suffer loss, whether it's a heart, a limb, a promise, the heart especially, oh man, it's an instrument once broken, never plays the same, but although it can't be cured, it can be healed. In difficult times, try to remember, just do the next right thing. And remember, too, that we learn in the not knowing. In the not knowing is where we find our curiosity, our vulnerability, our kindness, the intangibles that create who we are. Practice kindness. Get good at it. It will serve you. Look for the grace, the divine in the everyday, and as Ira Glass says, trust your own good taste. The Greek word for spirit is the same as breath. Put your spirit to your beliefs and let your voice ring out. I would like to finish with a poem, and this poem is I wrote this because I learned that this planet cannot sustain the minerals that we need to live for life. And so we needed planets and comets to crash into this world so that we could have like iron for our blood. We needed iron from outer space. And if that's true, then everyone in here is a piece of a star. And if that's true, this is a constellation, unique and to today, the constellation of the graduating class of 2018. And this is some of the things I've learned in my time among constellations. I've learned there are families I share my blood and families I give my blood. I've learned that knowledge is acquired, but wisdom is recognized. I've learned that love thrives in audacity, dies in carelessness, and hides in simple gestures. I've learned there's the trip you plan, and then there's the trip you take. And home has gone from a place that is to one I remember to one I now create, where I know the names of the gods, what's funny, what's edible, what's sacred, and now where I will find you. So I'm looking up to the stars, and I know now, though not burning any longer, some still send their light. So I'm looking to the past and the future. I'm looking to home. And somewhere between where I stand and they send their light, we meet. Me looking to the heavens, and the stars looking down at what it's like to be alive. Thank you.
That was erudite and profound. Thank you, Dr. Kling. Okay. Now, to the pinnacle of today's ceremony. I invite the Dean of the College, Bev Nagel, to present this year's graduating class.
Will the senior class please rise? President Poskanzer, I wish to present the graduating class of 2018. These persons have completed the requirements for graduation and have been recommended by the faculty to the Board of Trustees for the degree of Bachelor of Arts.
By the authority vested in me by the state of Minnesota and the trustees of Carleton College, I hereby confer upon you the degree of Bachelor of Arts, together with all of the rights, responsibilities, and privileges pertaining thereto. Congratulations.
Will the first row of the left section come to the platform, please? The rest of the class may be seated. Ready? Alexander Xavier Brock Adamczyk. Alexander Gerald Epley. Anyeve Abasi Wisdom Emmanuel Akpan. Benjamin Nicholas Alexander. Dwight Shura Alexander. Francisco Alvarez. Saki Amagai. Charles Ross Anderson. Evan Robert Anderson. Christopher George Anisowitz. Alice Meru Antia, excuse me. Anirudh Apachar. Josephine Lee Arcuri. Aaron Lee Arnson. Jordan Robert Aaron. Daniel Evan Atkins. Lisa O. Leila Awad. Amar Babar. Grace C. Babs. David Bay. Melissa Naomi Bain in absentia. Stephen Joseph Beish. Arnav Bajaj. Amarantha Mercy Balmer. Maya Davis Banks. Taylor Moore Barnhill. Gloria Valesca Barrientos Sanchez. Mary Naomi Baumgartner. Estelle Evelyn Beyer. Jacob Norman Beckstein. Raylan Elizabeth Benjamin in absentia. Sharaka Gerard Berry. Alexander Michael Bice. Simon Alexander Bilski Rollins. Dane Christian Birkeland. Jonathan Daniel Bissila. Sophie Louise Boker. Olubusayo Ayokunle Bolondoro. Griffin Alexander Bolte. Jesse Bolton in absentia. Naomi Pearl Borowski. Alexa Helene Botello. Scott Anderson Bowen. Noah Parasek Brackenbury in absentia. Liam John Bradney. Azucena Briones. Maria Esther Briceño Martinez in absentia. Damale Nzinga Britton Coleman. Daniel Delianides Brodkin. Jeremy Aaron Brogg. Joseph John Brommel. Brittany Judith Bruckner. McAllen Hardy Brown. Emma Magdalene Brule. John Hoyt Buckner. Emma Hahn Beekner. Aidan Warner Burdick. Maximiliano Aldo Burgess. Gabriel Sebastian Burry. Alexander Walter Tapley Bynum. Benjamin Cabin Bian. Roy Lee Katie Kimball. Phineas Edwin Callahan. Francesca Maria Caracci. Ashley Marie Carlson. Brandon Allen Carrillo. Sandra Elaine Carson. Ryan Paul Casperson. Adriana Castillo. Francisco Orlando Castro. Kerem Omer Chelik. Serena Rebecca Chaikin. Madison Ann Chambers. Lindsay Morgan Chavez. Cindy Chen in absentia. Quan Chun. Tienen on Chen, Chun. Tienen Chun. Sorry. Avril Sophia Chung. Joseph Cho. Oops. Veronica Ann Child. Madeline Bryant Chosey. Jonathan Brian Chow. Daniel Choi in absentia. Benjamin Nealon Clark. Nicholas Aaron Cohen. Carissa Lynn Komnick. Julia Kathleen Connolly. Donson Jericho Allen Cook Gallardo. Benjamin Harris Peterson Corman. John Lawrence Cronin. Emily Bliss Cuddy Pierce. Emily Lynn Culver. Nathan A. DeLochlis. Lynn Nicole Daniel. Alana Morgan Danu. Trixie Dow. William Oliver DeCour. Rebecca A. DeLand. Anne Marie Delfino. Diana Laura Delgado. Samuel Diaz de Leon. Ian Carroll Doherty. Isaac C. Donnell. Joseph Tyler Donenfield. Jonas Tyler Donenfield, sorry. Merrick T. Ducharme. Emma Ruth Duggan. Carly Nicole Dunn. Martha Elizabeth Durrett. Michael Bello Ebako Hodgson. Elizabeth Marie Aaron. Abraham Stein Eichner. Nathan John Eisner. Amira Kazaya Therese Ellison. Logan Cook Elwood Deagle. Catherine Lee Eppard. Rachel Louise Everett. Nena Ogechukwu Ezem. Brandon Bernard Fabel. Eleanor Celia Fadley. Rebecca Jean Fairchild. Declan Robert Falls in absentia. G. U. Fon in absentia. Alexa Lane Feeney. Tegan Elizabeth Felkner Edwards. Henry Jackson Fisher. Anna Marie Flitner. Maximilian Foster. Solomon Abraham Foster. Eliana Sue Frank. Kayla Renee Frank. Archibald McDermott Fraser. Fiona Whelan Fraser. Nicholas Daniel Fredrickson. Benjamin Stolte Frericks. Michael William Frett. Brendan Austin Laird Friesen. Benjamin Gauthier Gagnon. Taylor Michelle Gaines. Rachel Cantrell Gallagher. Madeline Kennedy Garcia. Hannah Fennell Gelman. Andrew Addison Gerber. Nathan Kyler Gibbs. Jonathan Patrick Gillespie in absentia. Olivia Elsa Glenn Rayner. Geraldine Goldberg. David Carey Goodell. Camille Mary Gordon. Kaya Walker Govek. Carolyn Elizabeth Grahn. Sylvie Graubard. Martin Richard Green. Teresa Marie Green. Holdine Wolf Greenberg. Haley Ann Bransness Grease. Catherine Smith Grosh. Julia Starrer Gross. Kevin John Groh. Willa Fredel Groover. Sophia Colantoni Gunn. Simone Zachary Gutkin. Samantha Ann Haken. Mary Catherine Hall. Emma Valberg Krogius Helper. Anne Elizabeth Hamilton. Lydia Vale-Veith Hansen. Megan Amanda Harder. William Jackson Hart. Rachel Anna Harris. Seth Avram Harris. Mariam Hedayati. Bennett Edwin Herson Razor. Clara Jane Hessler. Maurice Edward Hicks. David Guadalupe Higgs. Brandon Kalen Hilliard. Aaron Michael Hockett. Michael Collins Hoffert. Paulina Men Min Hong. Liam Thomas Howe. Helen Frances Hoyt. Jonah William Hudson Erdman. Victor Manuel Huerta. Kevin Patrick Hurley. Peter Kurt Illig. Mark Bartholomew Iserloth. Janan Mary Jacobson. Natalie Simone Jacobson. Ellen Robinson Jacobus. Dorian Sage Jaffe. Sophia Campbell Jenkins. Claire Elizabeth Jensen. Muolian Jiang. Yu Jin Jin. Boluwatifa Oluwadamilari Johnson. Bomi Acadia Johnson. Brittany Nadine Johnson. Joshua Lee Johnson. Sarah Walker Johnston. Victoria Ruth Jolly. Catherine Page Sheldrick Jones. Emily Conway Kagi. Maureen Elaine Kalkowski-Farrand. Rinya Camber. Audrey J. Kahn. James Peter Candell. Raksha Kandal. Sophia Takemi Kawamoto. William James Kay. Harrison Cole Kaiton. Jane Anais Kelly. Lauren Grace Kempton. Alec Russell Kenlon. John William Kennelly. Thanda Win Kin. Ju Yun Kim. Belle Margaret Kinder. Michael Oliver Kipp. Paul Thomas Kirk Davidoff. Rebecca Kestenbaum Clafter. Adam Joseph Klein. Amanda Laura Klein. Sarah Elizabeth Kohanek. Benjamin James Kopp. Kevin Eugene Kowaleski. Conrad Jens Krogstad. Michaela Elise Kropp. Pallav Kumar. Urmila Kutikad. Sebastian Nicholas Lara in absentia. Jessica Taylor Lartig. Alec Thomas Lawler. Alexander Lee. Janice Joy Lee. Jordan M. Lee. Nicholas Paul Leake. Annie Lay. Sarah Leong Fern in absentia. Anissa Nicole Lester. Stephanie Blair Levine. Jinchuen Lee. Rory Roy Yu Lee. Jia Lin Liang. Jack Henry Lightbody. Bonnie Mae Lindgren. Peter Carl Lindquist. Emma Grace Link. Minda Liu. E. Leo in absentia. Clara Overbeck Livingston. Wendy Lowe. Joseph Edwin Long. Chua Lor. Mina Lor. Sandy Lor. Robert Armstrong Chiwa Lord in absentia. Allison Catherine Lorenz. Zephyr Smith Lucas. Corey A. Lucchese. Anthony Vincent Lynch. Shirlene Ma. Matthew Thomas McClay. Natty Manirit. Byron Lynn Evelyn Magnus Mappy. Emily Grace Marks. Leo William Martin. Isaac Martinez. Vanessa Martinez Hernandez. Kai Francis Matsubara Roll. Maximilian Charles Matisich. Daniel William Mayer. Alexandra Evgenievna Mine. Arthur Richard Shapu McCrae. Anna Rose McGinn. David Chen McKinley. Kevin May. Saul Mello Lira. Leah Meltzer. Dai Hui Meng. Keaton L. Mertz. Anna Page Meyer. Lauren Esther Michael. Dustin Tobias Michaels. Catherine Ann Miles. Julia Zeev Miller. Cha Wan Min in absentia. Mallory Laura Mintz. Malachi Singha Mishki. Kelsey Malia Molina. Rachel Marie Moore. Tyrone Moore Perez. Avinash Murthy. Adam Gabriel Moreno Mendelson. Theo James Morris. Aidan Mullen. Nina Emily Muller. Anna Elizabeth Neighbor. Micah Jazz Nacht. Hiroshi Nakajima. Josephine Rose Naron. Avery Laurel Naughton. Alyssa Nicole Neidhart. Heidi Michelle Neidhart. Bong Huang Nguyen. Karina Amada Nickel. Olivia Nyberg. Sarah Naomi Ohashi. Maya Isabella Okamoto. Tyler James O'Keefe. Timothy Oliver. Alexander John Olson. Sam Farrer Orfield. Catherine Kelly Ortel. William Eli Orvis. Pei Xuan Ouyang. Helen Ann Paglia. Sarah Elizabeth Paller. Guillermo Julian Palmer. Aman Panda. Lucy Russell Papachristou. Christopher Wesley Parsons. Grant S. Petronic. Kira Lee Patterson. Walter Yakorach Paul. Kai Pei in absentia. Ian Michael Peters. Victoria Craig Peterson. Olivia Carwin Phillips. Antonia Marie Piedmont Lang. Grace May Tien Oi Wong Pipes. Kelsey Thora Plank. Abigail Green Polk. Nicole Alexandra Polyakov. Lottie Rose Soltero Porter. Alexandria Hope Portnow. Emma Therese Posega Rapoli. Garrett James Postema. Alexandra Baus Pozniak. Madeline Gray Priest. Naomi River Price Lazarus. Mara Elizabeth Pugh. Walter Dirk Pugel. Benedict Cota Perel. Samuel J. Purfist. Margot Serrana Radding. Austin Hart Ray. Laura Joan Rafferty. Adonte Ratzlaff. Gina Marie Ray. Theodore Reinhardt Ertmann. Flora Sol Richie in absentia. Miguel Rincon Cervantes. Amelia Andress Roach. Killian Bryce Roberts in absentia. Nicholas Charles Rome. Tyler Joseph Rolland. Henry Rook. Sophia Elizabeth Rooks. Clara Linnea Rossby. Kayla Rose Rudas. Andrew Herbert Rubkin. Carolyn Jewel Ryan. Anton Noah Sack. Ryan Stafford Salox in absentia. Mary Ann Savoy. Shanoa Morgan Shotsky McLean. Noah von Schultes Scheer. Lillian Field Schneer. John William Scott. Yukihiko Segawa in absentia. Pritya Sekar. Anne Nicole Shapiro. Abigail Ann Scherer. Jonah Kramer Shaw. Abigail Lucine Sheldon in absentia. Hannah Elizabeth Sherman. Alexandra Mihei Shin. Christina Marie Sieben. Camden Allen Shireman Sykes. Jacob Daniel Sippel. Adriana Yasmin Smith. Julia Lackman Smith. Maxon Hatro Smith. Russell Gray Smith. Lillian Deja Snortland. Rafael Guadalupe Soto. Lucy Thorne Soul. Leah Ely Spencer. Nicholas Costa Spinelli. Sylvie Elizabeth Standback. Emma Jeanette Starr. Molly Beamau Steinberg. Mark Daly Steets. Lucy Ketford Stevens. Kaya Seneca Stitzel. Rebecca Akalo Stover. Chunshi Sun. Malavika Suresh. Bard Ruth Swallow. Avery Angel Swearer. Lydia Duchatelier Norris Simchich. Claire Claire Na Okaili Tego. Claire Hui Shi Tan. Duo Tao. Christina Hope Tarazi. Eric Cullen Taylor. Terrence William Stringer Taylor. Jeffney Bai Tao. Matthew Joseph Thibodeau. Carl Thomas. Elena Grace Thomas. Eliza May Thomas. Benjamin James Thompson. William Xavier Thorpe. Adam Avery Tiger. Allison Kate Tilson. Madeline Ann Gansmer Toff. Martha Solveig Torstensen. Steve M. Torre. Juan Sebastian Tovar Montanez. Catherine Olson Trichler. Allison Sarah Sage Tucker. Alperin Turkle. Danielle Brianna Vasiliev. Aditya Ajit Vaze. Sabrina Elena Velasco. Angel Vila. Benjamin William Vatrabek. Michael Vu. Alexander John Wachino. Sarah Benner Waldfogel. Kelsey Emma Waldron. Alexander Theodore Walker. Emma Fiero Wallace. Preston Rivers Wallen in absentia. Juhao Wan in absentia. Ejin Wang in absentia. Wang Jifeng. Ju Xuan Wang in absentia. Connor Aitken Weber. Daniel Patrick Withers. Emma Lee Nisbet Westbrook. Andrew Liebenstein Wheeler. Caroline McConnell Wheeler. Anna Swartzball Whalen. Sarah May White. Aaliyah Hart Widman. Miranda Wiebe. Tristan Robert Willard. Catherine McCurdy Williams. Isa Sylvan Wilson. Tegan Ellen Wilson. Jack Lincoln Wines. Samuel Loomis Wiseman. Jake Anthony Woodward. Caden William Wooliver. Andrew Thomas Lawrence Woosnam. Wei Tong U. Melanie Ray Worm. Xing Fan Xie in absentia. Solomon Blake Yannick. Alexander James Yeagle. Will Daniel Yetvin. Jeff Yu. Chimang U in absentia. Lazar Radimi Zamurovic. Anne Sophie Zanger. Eduardo Zaragoza. Miko Nathaniel Zeldas Roth. Jia Zhang. Ying Zhang in absentia. Christine Zhang. Yu Rong Zhang. Jason Zhu. Ariel Liang Zoro. Many members of this class have received academic distinctions. The awarding of the distinction summa cum laude, however, is the highest academic honor conferred by the college. To obtain this award, a student must have demonstrated excellence, insight, and creativity in nearly all courses throughout their 4 years. It's a Carleton tradition to honor these students at the end of our commencement ceremony. It's a pleasure to present Shi Chun in absentia, Logan Crowell. Catherine Ann Faber. Vian Gao. Grace Leong Johnson. Nirja Ravindra Kulkarni. Sanjaya Mao. Paul Oliver Peterson. Soren Waite Schlosser. Rachel Ann Sutherland. Ying Hui Zhu. Please join me in congratulating the class of 2018.
So you batted 998. The weather even cooperated. That's some kind of good omen. Congratulations to all of you, and as we salute you, I also want to remember one other thing. Each of these impressive graduates here arrived at this day because of parents, siblings, extended family, and friends whose support made all of your academic achievements possible. Would the graduates please join with me in saluting all of these special people sitting around? Please be seated. I'd now like to ask Chaplain Fuhr Slocum to come forward to present the valedictory.
Poet David Wagner writes of taking the next steps on your journey, always beginning anew. Getting there. You take a final step, and look, suddenly you're there. You've arrived at the one place all your drudgery was aimed for, this common ground where you stretch out, pressing your cheek to sandstone. What did you want to be? You'll remember soon. You feel like tinder under a burning glass, a luminous point of change. The sky is pulsing against a cracked horizon, holding it firm till the arrival of stars in time with your heartbeats. Like wind etching rock, you've made a lasting impression on the self you were by having come all this way through all this welter under your own power, though your traces on a map would make an unpromising, meandering lifeline. You've earned this worn-down, hard, incredible sight called here and now. Now, what you make of it means everything, means starting over. The life in your hands is neither here nor there, but getting there. So you're standing again and breathing, beginning another journey without regret, forever being your own unpeaceable kingdom, the end of endings. Graduates, may you keep on getting there. Blessings on your journey, and congratulations, Carleton class of 2018.
I now invite you to stand to join in singing the Alma Mater, led by the Carleton Commencement Band. The lyrics are printed inside the back cover of your program. I now get the happy task of closing off this ceremony. Carleton, class of 2018, we're immensely proud of you, and we wish you good luck and Godspeed.
whole suite out, the first movement of the whole suite, with the people starting. First, second suite, second suite.
The marching's all right.
No,
Oh.
first. You all good to go? All good to go?